Hey guys, Chris here from Cohesive Friendship Unit, just me today. I want to talk a little bit about the latest update that came from PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. We now have the new map, Sanhok. Real quick, if you like this content, throw us a like. If you have any thoughts on the latest patch, definitely throw them down below. If you love us, sub us for sure, and that sub will enter you in a giveaway. Alright, so I know that we made a video earlier in the week kind of digging into the event pass and how we thought it was kind of a mess, especially when you compare other options. I guess Fortnite is probably the immediate example where the pass lasts longer. It's generally considered to be better, and the game is already free to start. So we gave our fair criticism there, but I think we should acknowledge kind of the flip side of this patch, the other things that came from this patch. And I know that we've already talked about Sanhok in the past and like the private testing, but now the map is officially out, and for what it's worth, that is the way to play PUBG. PUBG is so much fun on Sanhok. I feel like the game really got a lot of life into it. There's just the pace of the game is more enjoyable. Not that the other two maps are not enjoyable from a pacing standpoint, but I think this is kind of the mix-up that we needed as a community. I think the map came out really well. I think it's definitely their strongest map to date, and I think looking ahead towards the snow map, it gives me hope that their map design has hope. But yeah, I mean, I think, and I'll go over real quick what I like about this map in particular. The size helps. I mean, you really don't need vehicles more often than not. You have a huge amount of freedom as to where you can glide at any given time because the map is so much smaller. When you jump out of the plane, the density of people is going to be much greater. You're going to be getting in a lot of firefights, and it kind of has the verticality that the desert had, but it also has the foliage that the first map had. So it's kind of the best of both worlds from that perspective. And fights are just fun, and they're frequent on this map. It feels balanced. They tweak the circle mechanics a bit. Circles come fast and furious, but they move in slower. So you might think that you're safe sitting on the edge of the circle, but the circle's going to move in 10 seconds, or 30 seconds. So you're not as safe as you think. There's always movement, always people to fight, and the QBZ is a really fun gun. That gun is super fun. But I want to talk about a few of the other things that I think probably went overlooked in lieu of all this event pass nonsense, which I still think is kind of nonsense, but regardless, the game has a decent bit more polish. It looks a little bit nicer. There's UI tweaks, UI enhancements. It now is starting to kind of, and yeah, this is, is it too little too late maybe, but it's shaping up to look a lot nicer. And I think more importantly, I don't know if they did something to the netcode or if it's just general performance enhancements, but the game runs so much better for me personally. I can shoot and leave my shots. There's with no screen or no frame hiccups. Everything's running pretty much locked at the moment. There's no real variability. And they tweaked the recoil a bit on things. It seems it's just a lot more fun to shoot guns. I don't know I can't put my finger on why, but all the fights that I was getting in, I was shooting my gun and I was like, oh yeah, this is I feel like this is what it should have been feeling like this whole time. Things really seem kind of on the up from a actual game standpoint if you can extract out the weird cash grabbing stuff they've been doing. I was super impressed. Obviously, it's still not perfect. They did some vehicle tweaking. I didn't have enough time to fully dig into that because I was mostly playing on Sanhok, which again, I think is, for all intents and purposes, you could just play that forever for the immediate future and have a lot of fun. But I noticed they changed some of the boat mechanics. It's hard to tell if they're better or worse. I was driving around on, my friend was driving me on a bike. The bike did not seem as perilous as it had previously been. So hopefully there's a strong change to vehicles, but general weapon aiming, weapon recoil, all that. I used to get really bad screen tearing. I don't get that anymore. Everything just seems a lot more solid on the performance standpoint. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. They have this new weird mechanic where you spawn in with 20 apples in your grenade slot in Sanhok, and just throwing those around kind of shows how like janky their throwing system still is. But I think this was a good patch for PUBG, and this was a successful map for PUBG, and I think this was good of them. I honestly think they should have done this patch and then their event pass stuff after, to kind of like detach the two, because I think this is such a good forward thing, and the event pass maybe is meeting more backlash than anticipated. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think down below, if you're enjoying the new map in its final state, and if you're liking the new patch, or if you've totally given up on PUBG. We'll catch you guys next time.